Hi, my name is Finn.
And my name's Maddie with the Cotter Teen Press, and we're here with.
Leo from Odd Prospect.
Nice to meet you, Leo. So your music kind of seems to blend like late 20th century rock and punk with like kind of modern flares. So who or what influenced your sound specifically?
Yeah, so I play bass, and my brother Ariel is the guitarist and lead singer. He's not here right now, but he's the main songwriter in the group, and he takes a lot of influence from contemporary music like emo, math rock, and he'll bring like a pretty solid idea to us as a team. We're a three-piece, and then me and our drummer Clark will add our little flair to it. I'm a lot more like maybe classic punk influenced, like The Clash or Violent Femmes. Clark is into all music, especially I'd say like R&B and hip hop vibes, like Danny Brown, a little more alternative hip hop. So I think those three genres, even though at first glance they might be like not related to each other at all, I think fundamentally they do have a lot of the same ideas and concepts. So we're able to meld that together, and we all live together, so we're always able to jam and experiment with things. So yeah, it's a pretty I would say Ariel is the lead singer, but we all bring our own elements to the table as well. So yeah.
So how did well, obviously your brother's in it, but how did your band meet, and how do like your backgrounds affect your music?
Yeah. So yeah, my brother and I were, we took piano lessons and other instruments growing up. But we're never like in a band together. We'd listen to music together. And then when we went off to college, I played in a different band with Clark, and that ended when COVID started. And then we were all back in town. We all live in Minneapolis now, and we just started jamming, Clark and I and some other people, and I was like, hey, my brother is a really good singer, songwriter, play guitar, and we all started jamming together, and that's kind of how it went. It was pretty simple, honestly, so yeah.
So this is just kind of like a follow-up question. Can you rank like these power trios? So we have Rush, ZZ Top, Green Day, Blink-182, and Odd Prospect.
Okay. All right, and this is just my opinion, right? I don't know. Okay. Let me look at these. All right, so, I mean, I don't want to name myself as the top, but like, all right, I'll just do that last, but like, you know what I'm really thinking. All right, we got to go with Rush because they're just so influential, as a prog rock group. Even though I always think like emo and math rock, maybe more just math rock, is like the modern version of prog rock with the different time signatures and like really high technical playing. I think we take a lot of elements from that sort of vibe. So I'd say Rush first, then Blink-182 for me. Green Day, I was into them as a kid, super influential, not as much anymore. And ZZ Top, I like ZZ Top, maybe when we're older and we can grow big, long beards, they'll rank higher. But for now, they're last. But yeah, we'll put Odd Prospect last, but yeah, I don't want to rank us above those really successful bands. So yeah.
How did you first connect with Midwest Music Fest?
Yeah, so I think maybe like the first, 6 months we were playing, I heard of Midwest Music Fest and saw some bands that were bands that we looked up to. And, we were always curious about how we even get noticed by Midwest Music Fest. And I believe 1 or 2 years ago, I just applied on the website. And I wasn't honestly expecting to hear anything back, and I think it's been over a year, and then Nathaniel, the director of Midwest Music Fest, just hit us up and was like, yeah, you want to play? And we were super down, and actually worked perfectly because this will be like the start of our tour for our album release, just released today, and we'll be going playing a show in Minneapolis tomorrow and playing some shows out of town. So just fit really well, and we've always thought of Midwest Music Fest as like a rite of passage for Minnesota bands, and it's always fun to play outside of Minneapolis too. So yeah.
So, what are some new songs on your album that just released that people should be looking out for?
Yeah. One I really want to note is the single that came off called "Push Me to the Floor," featuring our good friend Laverne, and a great R&B artist. And for this one, we really, really melded all the genres that we're into one song, and it's split pretty evenly into two parts. The first part being like a pretty vibey R&B song going straight into like a pretty heavy punk song. And it's been, I think it's super unique, not just in the local scene, but, you know, across all genres or many other bands I've heard on Spotify or seen live. And it just played on The Current the other day too. Another one I was really, really impressed with and happy we did. It was the last song we recorded called "When I Fall Asleep." A little bit of a longer song with a lot of changes as well. But I was just really impressed with my brother's songwriting, not just the lyrics, but also just the instrumentals and stuff. And I think we really did a good job on that too. So, yeah.
And just kind of wrapping this up, how is the Minneapolis music scene doing after the pandemic disruption? And also, how did it affect you in those early stages?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was tough because I was in a band before COVID, and we were like really wanted to get going and get our songs out there, play more shows, and then boom, it all happened. And Odd Prospect started when things were kind of opening up. There seemed to be like a reset, especially in the house DIY venues in Minneapolis. But I think, especially now, it's super vibrant. There's where we live in the neighborhood we live in Minneapolis has tons of different house shows, especially in the summer, playing multiple times a week. And a bunch of great new venues have popped up too. And so I think it is a really vibrant community, and I don't think COVID actually hindered it. I think, if anything, it gave it a real reset and a fresh look for existing bands, but also so many other new bands, college bands, whatever. Just being able to start fresh and keep going. And it's the whole community that brings everyone together. Like the fans, the artists. I mean, tons of fans are artists too in their own right. You know, musicians, visual artists. So yeah, I think everyone's just there to try and help each other, and that's what I love about the Minneapolis music scene, especially.
And just one last word. Since I know you play bass and we don't really get that many bassists, what would be one or two things that you would say to all those aspiring bassists out there?
The bass does matter. It does matter. No, but I started out as a guitar player, and I became a bass player out of necessity for the band, but pretty immediately when I started, I realized that you're kind of like the bridge between the drummer and the guitarist. You know, you can match the rhythm of the guitarist, but you need to also be paying attention to what the melodies is, not just the guitar, but also the vocal. And everyone says this, but it really is the foundation of the music. Like, if you ever try and listen to a song through your phone with no bass, it's not the same, you know? And I think in some ways it's good that the bass is also sort of the underdog, because, I mean, I like being the underdog, and sometimes it's good to not be in the spotlight, because then you can really do what's important behind the scenes and everything. But it's great, and, you know, new people like Thundercat and other modern bass players, is the only one I can think of, are doing amazing things that totally can be put in the spotlight. So you can be in the spotlight, out of the spotlight, whatever. You can be whatever you want when you're a bass player. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.